Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 51st episode of the Give My Head podcast with me, Tim McAleer, and my comedy colleagues,
Michael McDowell
and Damon Quinn.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're very excited to announce that we are going live, our first ever live podcast. We're going to be doing it in the Mandela Hall on Sunday the 12th of October. Get your tickets now. A very exciting night. We're going to have some special guests. We're going to be a bit of stand-up. We're going to be reading some old extracts from Give My Head Piece. We'll have a bit of crack. There'll be Q&As. Get your tickets now. Very, very exciting. You excited, lads?
You are excited. Yeah, I'm excited.
You've never done a live podcast before.
Never done a live podcast. I've done live shows, but it's going to be great. I actually do think it'll be good fun. Actually,
it will be excellent fun. You get to see us in the flesh, which would be very, very pleasant for you. Dan, the tickets are flying out the door, aren't they? So get your tickets there on Glister. Follow the link below. Yeah, I do that there and follow the link below. So yeah, the Give My Head podcast live in the Mandela Hall on Sunday the 12th of October. Come and see us live. You're very, very welcome. You will have fun. And before we go on, ladies and gentlemen, we have to thank our rather excellent sponsors. We've been very, very fortunate. We have the superb sponsors, which is Phoenix Energy. Phoenix Energy, who are, as you know, the gas distribution network from Larne to Newcastle, fueling over 250,000 homes. And I've just found out from our guests that they are heading west, aren't they? They're in Oma. They said gas is coming to Oma.
Yes.
Wow.
We are very excited.
You're very excited. You should be very excited because gas is absolutely the fuel of the future. In fact, our friends at Phoenix Energy have a campaign, Phoenix Energy campaign called Fueling the Future. Mm-hmm. You'll probably see it online on billboards. Phoenix Energy Fueling the Future, a brand new campaign about some of the exciting stuff they're currently working on, such as introducing biomethane to their existing gas network.
Do you know what biomethane is?
Have you heard of biomethane, Conor?
No, I've heard of methane.
You've heard of methane?
What's biomethane?
Biomethane is cows farting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that.
It's animal, but it's fuel made from animal waste.
Oh,
right, okay. So they're not going around with a plastic bag catching farts. I'm trying to visualize how do they get the farts? Just capture it in a wee bag and tie it up. Yes, there's one.
The head of Phoenix Gas is down in a field somewhere.
Just a bin liner for the bigger cows.
Cars, beans, going, come on, boys, you can do better than this.
Have you had biomethane in Oma before, do you think? I don't know. There's been a lot of cow dung about, but I don't know if we've ever actually converted it. Or most people just eat it. Is there a lot of people making biomethane in Oma, do you think? There's a lot of shit being talked, but
seriously, I don't know. Biogas is the fuel of the future. It's cheaper. It's far more efficient. It's far more energy efficient as well. It helps save the planet. Go to phoenixenergy.ni.com, fueling the future. Great resources and information there about switching to Phoenix Energy, which we want people to do because oil is bad for the environment. And Phoenix
gas
Energy.
Is a lot better. I have gas. It's great.
You have gas.
I have gas.
You have gas. I keep saying I get gas.
Great.
Cooking
like it.
Right, okay.
I like cooking on gas.
Yeah, that's why they say you cook on gas. Phoenix Energy, thank you very much for your sponsorship. As you probably know by now, ladies and gentlemen, our guest is one of Northern Ireland's foremost comedians. A man I have gigged. Oh, don't put yourself down, my friend.
I was like, did Shane Todd come in?
You worked with you. It is, of course, the Oma legend, the man who runs one of the finest comedy clubs in the country, Daly's Comedy Club. It is the one and only Mr. Conor Keys. Conor, you're very welcome to Give My Head podcast. Thank you.
I have to admit, first of all, have you ever had somebody on the podcast that's never seen an episode of Give My Head Piece? Right, well, that's been a short program, hasn't it?
Have you never seen... You've never seen an episode of Give My Head?
I didn't know the word was my.
Right.
I thought it was me.
Right, give me...
So then you said... Do you want to come and give me head? And
I was like,
no, I was like, absolutely, I'm on my holidays.
Well, you're going to have to come to our live show.
Absolutely, okay.
See an episode of Give Me Head, please.
I thought you meant for the green room, just for the... All right, okay.
Or we could do an episode for you here now. You can
try it. Yeah, go. I genuinely, I don't know, I'm trying to think what year that would have started. What year did you start?
We started, the first ever episode was Two Ceasefires and a Wedding in 1995, and then it became Give My Head Piece in 1998.
98, yeah, okay.
So it's been running.
I was 17.
You were 17.
Were you on a Friday night by any chance?
You were on a Friday. You were out on a Friday night. Yeah.
I discovered women.
Right.
Yeah. They didn't discover me, but I...
Did they reciprocate?
No, they did not. But they loved the trier.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, I missed a lot of. I was going to say legendary comedy.
Yeah, okay.
I must Give My Head Piece. I missed Phoenix Nights. I missed The Office. All them things that were on at that time. I was like,
my son was 27. He got married recently, and he at the wedding he said that his partner, when he first met, said she'd never watched an episode of Give Me Headpiece, and I
she
thought
watched
that
them
was
all
bad.
now.
That was bad enough. Then the best man got up and said that him and my son bonded. How did they bond? Over comedy. I thought, said Barry the Blender. We watched every episode of Barry the Blender, and we knew every word of Barry the Blender. And my own son, ladies and gentlemen. But give me.
Well, I'm a good company then. Along with
You're
your son.
an excellent company. So you missed Give Me a Headpiece, but
Missed it, yeah,
How did you get
completely.
into comedy then? What did you? I mean, you didn't know any comedy.
No,
you didn't know
it
anything
was,
about comedy.
obviously if I haven't seen Give Me a Headpiece, I didn't know anything about comedy. But the thing is about Give Me a Headpiece is culturally it's massive.
Yeah.
So even though I didn't watch it, I knew everything about
Right.
the show. You know, I knew.
Oh, you were aware of it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, everybody was aware of it.
just
It was
chose not to watch
I
it.
just chose to go out and try and
It was a conscious choice.
try to go out and foot the row women, but
Deliberately didn't watch it.
and I deliberately didn't foot her. But no,
Put in with women. That's a
Every spitter woman.
You were out chasing the pretty little girls from Oma.
Pretty Little
Is that
Girls
what it
from Mama,
was?
yeah, and they reported me.
Olivia Nash, Good Plays Bad, Give Me a Headpiece. Always has a lovely expression that was said there was a man who was a bit of a reputation in the district. He said, the dirty old man, he says, always futhering.
So so this is a weird link. I was taught by Olivia's daughter.
All right.
Oh,
yeah.
Patricia.
I don't know her name.
Yeah. As a was a geography teacher in St.
Yes,
Malachy's
she taught me
College.
geography in Oma CBS.
All
I
right.
think it was her first. And God love her, the wee critter, because she had to deal with me, who
Right.
I was the class clown, and I was always messing about.
Were you always the mother
always
and the
messing?
messer?
And then we found out. Like I say, I didn't watch Give Me a Headpiece, but I don't know if it might have been me. Sorry, Patricia. Found out that Olivia did the Spar ad.
Yeah.
Fred, there's no bread.
There's no bread, that's it.
And that poor woman, every time she went down the corridor on that school, all she heard was Fred, there's no bread.
It wasn't even her.
It wasn't even her. And it was, so that sticks to this day. But that ad still, my ma said it the other day. I said, Ma, I have no bread. She goes, oh, there's no bread, Fred. And I was like, I can't believe that still lingers on.
Yeah, that's about 30, 40 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Fred.
Ages. But that's when we found out then that her daughter then. So that's my
Olivia said
tedious
her-
link to Give Me a Headpiece.
Olivia said her entire career is summed up by some guy who shouted at her in the street, Ma, there's no bread.
That's all
50
encompassing.
years in theatre, darling, summarised in Ma, there's no bread.
All these years we've been sort of pondering, because in Give Me a Headpiece, you're just called Da, Ma.
Yeah,
we
we never
don't
had a
know what
second.
Da's name is, but maybe it's Fred.
Well, that's true.
that would be fantastic.
We should start that. Yeah, there's a whole episode.
So
there.
you've never revealed what your name was?
We've never had second names ever, have we? No,
Right,
no,
okay.
nobody's. And then we had family members who disappeared as well, not in a bad way. We just disappeared. Sorry,
Not
that-
the grim
Disappeared.
thing.
Disappeared. Maybe is not the right word.
It's an unfortunate choice.
Yeah,
yes.
we had family, and then they just kind of went, "Oh fuck, they're not funny." We did. So no, we never had Uncle Andy. We never explained who's Uncle.
Don't be telling him any more about it. He doesn't
You
watch it.
fucking watch it. Yes,
Yeah.
Let him go and watch it.
I know there's as an Uncle Andy has got who's got the Gusty Spence moustache.
Yeah, that was.
Oh, it's Andy
Uncle
Terry.
Yeah, Andy Terry. Yeah.
All right, okay.
Andy Terry was the head of the UDA. It was based on that. It was
Oh, it's based on
handlebar
that,
and,
right.
and dark tinted glasses that he used to wear. He was ex-head of the UDA. Recently deceased, recently late of this parish. Yeah, that's who he was modelled on. You see, we're very, very modern.
Did you see him? Andy
What?
Terry came down to see him.
He did. Andy Terry actually asked to be in Give Me a Headpiece. The head of the UDA asked to be in Give Me.
It got surreal.
I went and the BBC, we said, we ran this by the BBC. I said, well, what about guesting? And I said, no, I don't think we should. No, by that stage, he had left the UDA and decided to, he was a peacemaker. He became a community
he took
worker.
early redundancy,
He
didn't he?
took early redundancy, which was inspired by an explosive device under his car.
Yes, he was invited to leave.
I think it's called involuntary redundancy. Yes.
P45s.
Yeah,
smithereens.
yeah. So that's the type of fans we had. You see,
Okay,
whereas
right.
young people like you didn't. You were
No.
a gallivantian.
You're right. Yeah. I mean, you definitely had a part to play in the peace process. Do you not think you would have had like a? You definitely did have an. But you did like I mean.
Like we don't like to say that.
That's
No, we don't really.
that's exaggerated, but I mean, we definitely deserve some sort of praise.
Absolutely, there should be a statue.
Yeah,
Not for
yeah,
you because
yeah,
it takes
just-
too much bronze needed for you. But
Oh, sorry, is that big boy? Oh,
no, that's all right. That's all right. Gloves are off. That's all right.
Well, do deserve a praise, but probably not the Nobel Peace Prize because you don't get that for.
No, for actual peace. No,
You don't know. You get that. What was the one in the Private Eye?
What?
How many people do you have to kill to get the Nobel
Oh,
Peace
right,
Prize?
that was Saddam Hussein or something.
Hitler was nominated
Trump will,
for it.
Donald Trump will get it.
He will get it,
He
yeah.
will get it.
Oh, wouldn't
Just
really
annoy
like-
people. That's what's going to happen.
So born and bred in Oma, that was your
Yes.
yeah, and haven't left it. No
In the
ambition.
town, left to go to London for a few years, and then
Right.
caught myself on, came home
Right.
again. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I grew up in the town in Oma in a council estate.
Right.
One of the worst.
We kind of like it. We do Oma every year. Obviously, didn't bother yours coming to see us. We're in the Strood,
So we actually come to you, right?
the Strood Arts Centre every year. We do.
Do you know what? I so many times I meant to come to him, and
I
then
then never got the free
Just,
tickets. I came to you. I
Narcissus.
came to. I did a
did.
comment. I did. there
sure, I'm
was-
here now. Aren't I?
Yeah, but there was, I mean, in the early days of comedy, Daly's was one of the early sort of starters of the new wave of stuff, wasn't it?
That's-
Because they had
yeah,
a
'cause-
comedy festival. I did a comedy festival.
Yeah, we did a festival. We were just talking about it the other day. We did a festival in 2014 and 2015,
Yeah.
which was ridiculous for to be in Oma.
Aye, a comedy festival in Oma,
I
yeah.
know. I don't know. I don't know. We
But
called
it
it
was great.
and we called it Oma Laughs Back.
Yeah.
was the whole thing. And yeah, it was strange because if you think it was only 10 years ago, but we had a show on with Shane Todd
Yeah.
in one of the smaller venues, and it was free to enter because we picked one of the acts we liked and all the rest, and we couldn't get anybody to come in and see Shane
Yeah,
Todd.
yeah,
You know, we had to drag people off the street to come in
Yeah.
to see, and now
yeah.
the
it's
arena. Sort of thing.
arenas.
So, I mean, in the space of 10 years, that difference has been
It's enormous.
a massive change. But yeah, it randomly two other guys started the club, and then sort of I came along when one of them moved to Belfast. And
Yeah.
but at that stage, they had come second in the UK. You know, Dave, the TV channel.
Yeah.
they did like a comedy club of the year thing,
wow, okay.
and we came runners
Wow,
up.
wow.
Which was so surreal because you've got the top 10 list of the top 10 comedies. You know,
Dailies and Oma.
You have Manchester, Oma, London, Liverpool, Glasgow. Where's Oma in the middle of this?
No,
So, yeah,
I remember the festival. It was great. I did about 2 or 3 gigs.
Yeah,
with
it was
Bogans,
great.
is that right?
Bogans as well, yeah.
Bogans.
We had late lives, and we kind of tried to model it on the Fringe
Yeah.
idea of that there's 1 hour shows and there's different
Yeah, yeah.
things you can go to see, but it was Oma.
You know a famous man from Oma called Dermot Devlin?
I do indeed,
You know
yes, absolutely.
Devlin?
Dermot, yeah.
Dermot Devlin is a disability campaigner.
He's an advocate, yes.
He's an
disability
advocate. Dermot
yeah.
is a kind of, he's
Yeah.
a great guy. I remember carrying Dermot down the stairs in Bogans. Dermot is wheelchair bound, okay?
Right, yeah.
Dermot had a few swallies. I had a few swallies.
So
it was
you
gig
carried-
number 3.
Yeah, I don't know who was carrying
But Dermot is a brilliant guy. If you
Dermot's a
follow him
fantastic
online, brilliant advocate for disability rights and stuff. And Dermot loves his comedy.
Loves the comedy.
So
And
drunk man carries drunk man.
Oh yeah, don't go. He's a small gentleman. He's a wheelchair bound. He's
Yeah.
a smaller gentleman, but yeah, it was one
Dermot's
of
about
those nights.
4 foot and he's
Yeah,
about 7 foot. You know what I mean?
The two of us half cut down the back stairs of Bogans.
I threw you downstairs.
You did for me downstairs once, yeah. I still have a cracked rib, yeah.
And it wasn't even on stage. It was just
No, it was a gotcha, and he didn't get me.
He hit the bottom.
And then he came down and said, "Are you alright?" Because he's blocked. So you alright? And I said, "Don't move me! Don't move me! I could be spinally injured." So I lay there for about half an hour going, blocked, of course, going,
thinking about the claim.
Fuck.
He never sued me. Be fair to him.
But the premises got it.
All right.
So when
okay.
so the comedy started with 10. Did you start as a stand-up? Did you what did you?
Yeah,
you
I
decided
started
I can
with,
do this or what? How did you? Which?
I wrote a play.
Yeah, you were in Ernie Ways. You wrote plays, didn't you?
Yeah,
See, I
I-
used to write plays.
That's how we started.
okay.
And used to have to try and get your mates to be in them. And it's a bit of a,
Pain in the backside.
yeah,
absolutely.
particularly when, in those days there was no money in it. Like,
No money, no. And so when I wrote it, but it was the very first time I'd heard an audience laugh at something I'd written.
Yeah.
And I was like,
yeah.
oh. And then rather than having to deal with 14 people and your mates and them not turning up for rehearsals and all,
Yeah.
I thought, I wonder, could I do this myself?
Yeah.
And then I went to Daly's. Daly's was running at that time, and I'd never been to a comedy night in Daly's, and I went, and there was a guy on, And I'll never forget, my brother was sitting beside me, and I said to him, I was like, I may not ever be the best in the world, but I'll be better than that. And that was...
What was his name?
No, I've never revealed that name. Like, thankfully, he doesn't do it anymore. He cut himself off. But I remember that, because it's not even...
Kevin McAleer.
No way. But it wasn't even, it was like old jokes. You know, there were jokes that were 20 years old, or playground stuff, and I was like, that's not
Pub
stand
stuff,
up. Like,
yeah.
And so then I decided to ask for a slot, and then the guys in Daly said, you've got 7 minutes.
Well,
And the problem is I wrote for 7 minutes. So then when I went to Belfast and they went, can you do 5? I was like, no. I can do 7. And then when I got to 10, I was like, I can't do 10. I can do 7. But, so that was the earliest days. But that was, it came from the plays, yeah.
yeah.
And well, your plays all comedy.
All comedies, yeah. So there was, it started off about our background in a very Republican council estate
Right.
in Oma. You know, so high Republican was it, and so then the next one then moved, the main character, the person we put it all onto, then became quite popular with people. So we
All
just
right.
wrote more for
very good.
him.
And
So
where did you put this on, isn't it?
just Noma, just in the art centre, yeah. So we'd done pretty well. We'd sold out 3 nights in it, like, so that's nearly 1,000 people, like, yeah. So each one then went on. The last one was the election one. We did an election where he went for independent councillor. Because that's my that was my day job until recently. My day job will be working with politics, working in community development, working with councils and stuff. So I put it all into the play, and
You could have been First Minister.
could have been First Minister.
Yeah, isn't that what Zelensky did? Wasn't he a...
He was
Well,
a comedian.
Zelensky
yeah.
was a comedian.
He was a comedian, but he did a sitcom, a very successful sitcom, about a comedian
who became
who becomes
president.
president.
Yeah.
And
weird,
then
isn't
it happened for real.
Yeah. Strange how that happens, isn't it?
We need that in this country. I love play. I played Daly's a few times. It's a lovely, lovely club, and I was the privilege of being there for Kevin McAleer's last ever gig, and Kevin is an absolute legend. What a night that was, you know.
That, for me, I'm the last person to ever say, "Please
Yeah.
welcome to the stage, Kevin McAleer."
Yeah.
For me, he was the pinnacle.
I was the master.
Because I stole a cassette tape for all the young people listening. You know, what a cassette
Yeah.
tape. I stole a tape of his from an uncle of mine years ago. I may have been 15 or 16, and it was one of his just like a greatest hits kind of tape. I don't know, what it's called, but I had that because I'd watched stand up for years, Eddie Murphy and Billy Connolly, and even like Lenny Henry and all that sort of stuff. You watch, and then next thing this boy with a Tyrone accent, I was like, who is this? What is going on? And being absolutely hilarious, he was fantastic. So then I was very lucky then to sort of build up a bit of a relationship with him, become friends with him, which is
Such a nice
surreal. Like, for me
a
especially,
nice
if you're like you meet him, you meet your idol. It's kind of like, but it's a strange one because that was his last show.
Yeah, his last ever show. He
Ever
did
show.
a tour and big shows in Belfast,
Yeah.
and I wasn't able to get to them, and then I had the privilege of doing 10 minutes that night, and see,
But it is such typical Kevin.
who did it for.
At the height of his fame, he retires.
Yeah. Oh no.
Like Derry Girls comes in,
Yeah.
and like we meet.
Yeah, but that's typical Kevin.
That's it. We meet for coffee all the time, and there's people taking wee selfies, and they're thinking, "There's Uncle Colin," And I'm sitting, and I go, "You don't notice?" And I go, "I would notice a bit of it now, all right." I said, "But you do know that like the Uncle Colin clips are going viral." The Sun told me something about that.
To be fair, Uncle Colin isn't acting.
No, he's not.
Uncle Colin is just
He's
Kevin.
not
Just be yourself in
Yeah.
there, mate. He was.
And so I was chatting to him recently. I was like, "Have you any inkling?" He goes, "No."
No, because we tried to get him on this, and he go, "No, I've retired.
He's retired.
Property, retired,
Yeah,
retired,
he's done.
retired,
Yeah.
and that's it. And he's not doing any more, and he doesn't need it. But he was a genius,
Oh, unbelievable. And the layers to his jokes and the layers to it was. There wasn't.
It was clever.
Very, very clever. There wasn't a wasted syllable on
Yes.
it. Not this time at Daly's, but the time before that. The first time I got him in, because he was very hesitant about coming in. He was very, I'm too old for a young crowd. And I'm like, no, comedy will translate no matter what.
Oh, thank God for that.
But for most people. But he came on stage, and I forgot to tell him that it was a microphone that had a clip, a push button to raise it up. Normally you'd find the wee thing. So he started footering like this, and he couldn't find it. And he would look at the audience, and then he would just move his hand, and he would look away. And he had them in stitches for 5 minutes and he hadn't spoken a word.
Yeah.
Just trying to see where it actually, and then he would look at it and he would tilt the head and he'd go back. And I was like, this is a masterclass. He had them in the palm of
My
his hand.
favourite Kevin McAleer joke was the one about people say that Northern Ireland, their image in Northern Ireland, it's all the troubles and violence, and that's not right. And people who keep saying that should be taken out and shot. Aye, obviously he delivered it. Way.
But what I loved about he never did any audience work, and he did hecklers. I mean, I hate hecklers. Genuinely, I don't like them.
You could bring it.
Yeah, shut. Yeah, I'm not.
See, I always have this thing, and this is the problem. I always have the thing that we should be better than shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I know, but no,
sometimes
no.
it works so well.
No.
Sometimes there's nothing better than
perfect. But nobody really. They kind of started it when Kevin just ignored him, and I've tried to do big gigs where you think this is going to get rowdy, and he just always takes his time, and he
has them in the palm of his
just has them
hand.
in the palm
And if a
of his hand.
heckle
He's very
does
quiet.
come,
he never shouts. He never raises his voice or anything.
he could just respond to a heckle by looking.
Yeah.
The heckle will come and he'll just look and then look back, and that's it.
Yeah,
But the
yes,
heckle's dead then.
he's kind of like Obi-Wan Kenobi of hecklers, you know. You don't want to heckle me.
And you see the heckler just levitating out.
You don't need to heckle me.
So yes, any younger listeners never heard of Kevin McAleer, look him up online. There's stuff online. He's absolute genius, and we'll know him from Derry Girls.
That's what I'm saying. The Upper Column thing is massive, but it's just only Kevin. Anybody else would be like, right,
Yeah.
I've got it.
Yeah.
I'm going to sell out arenas now. He's like, no, I'm going to retire.
And he could have done.
He could have
sold
done,
out.
yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of which, you told me you started with a certain Shane Todd, and you were doing gigs with Shane very early on, and then
I would have been.
He then decided to give it up for a bit when he went off.
Yeah, I think he went off and done like modelling or something. Yeah, so I would have been Shane's warm-up act for the first maybe 2 tours that he did,
Right.
and yeah, I don't know what sort of happened. Then we just sort of. William Thompson was coming and doing things, and I went like, okay, I'll I think I went out maybe with Mickey or something like that.
Yeah.
I didn't know where it was going to go. I didn't know he was going to do an SSE arenas.
I don't think we can give it up because I think our modelling days are over.
Well,
I don't
speak
know.
for yourself.
No.
There's a website for everybody.
Giacomo. That's my aim is to be sponsored by Giacomo.
Oh god.
Yeah, I mean he's done all right, haven't he? But you do support for the likes of I've seen you with Colin Murphy.
Yeah, so I've been out with Murph now this
you're-
last 4 tours, I
Yeah.
think, which has been great.
And you're doing. Are you allowed to say who you're doing next year? We're allowed to say.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's. Yeah, so I'm going to.
I think he'll still sell tickets no matter what.
I think he'll sell even. Well, I don't know
It's a
with my
certain-
name added. Yeah, so
Neil Delamere,
Neil
you're going
Delamere,
to
yeah,
Neil's
Neil's
tour next year.
Yeah, so that's going to be. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
What about acting? Would you like to do a bit of acting?
That's never really something I thought about, to be honest with you. I don't know if there's much roles for a fat culture in the fucking. You know what I mean? There's not. You have to write them yourselves. You have to do a James Corden and write a Gavin O'Stacey or something because there's no fat roles going. And I go on and give me a headpiece, no.
What, the man who doesn't even book and watch it? What's a part in it? Won't even come across the road to the stools.
You know what? He's so
Said
bad. Probably if he was in it, he wouldn't watch it. Just thrown that
Won't
way, I
even
think.
walk across the road to the stool. Well, by the way, we're in the stool next March. By the way, we give him a headpiece.
I'll be there.
live on.
I'll be
You'll
there.
be there.
Yeah,
You'll be
alright.
there. No, it's probably sell out. You won't get
That's all right.
Can we talk about your daughter? Can we
Yeah,
talk about
yeah.
Ruby?
Yes.
Because I didn't really, I knew you and I didn't know about Ruby until you did a routine on stage about your daughter Ruby, who has very complex special needs, very, very special. And I remember you telling me you did a couple of routines about Ruby. And you and your wife Emer and the stuff, the problems you had with her, but in a comedy
Yeah.
way, and it kind of went all right, but it didn't go great. And I think it was Murph give you some really good advice
Yeah.
about how to deal with that.
Yeah, because you find, especially with special needs or additional needs like that, if you try to bring humour to it,
Yeah.
an audience almost clams up and go,
And
I'm
go,
not,
"Oh,
I'm
God,
not laughing
yeah."
at that.
Yeah.
I'm not laughing, And so then the first time I did it, I remember... I remember having this line in my head where I would say, because you'd feel the audience sort of clamming up a wee bit,
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
and and I'm going, who are you getting offended for?
yeah.
Don't be getting offended for, and
Yeah. People going, oh, he's taking the piss.
yeah,
out
he's
of
taking the
Ruby."
piss, and
Yeah,
I'm not. I'm actually taking the piss out of my lived experience of having to deal with this sort of thing. But then Murph said to me, he goes, Mert's very diplomatic. He'll never say anything, right? And I come off. I knew myself. I thought I went too hard on that, and I come off stage, and he didn't say anything, and I just went, I think it was too aggressive, and I never even got the end of aggressive out. And he was like, "Right, what'd you do?" But he didn't say to me, but until I said it.
Yeah.
But as soon as I said it, he totally agreed, and then he gave me like a sort of. He goes, "Find somebody else in the room.
Yeah.
Find somebody else in the room that has a kid with additional needs."
Because there always will be
There
somebody.
always, and there has been always, and you'll find then that there's a commonality there,
Yeah.
and then it's us versus them sort of thing, and it changed the whole dynamic of the thing. And so I love doing that bit now about Ruby, and people learn about Ruby, and they learn about our difficulties of the challenge of behaviours. I think if anybody's seen the Spotlight documentary it was on, that was just a reflection of our home life, which is a lot of violence. And
No, it's very
aggression
tough,
stuff,
but hilarious the bit you did about her and the repeating things. And
Yeah,
stuff like
she's very repetitive, and because like
so she's verbal, but
she's verbal, but it's kind of not nonsense, but it's
she's 13, 14.
She's 14, yeah. But she's not. She's kind of assessed as being like a 3.5, 4-year-old. So she's not.
Oh, right.
She's not toilet trained. She's not able to dress herself and stuff like that. So you've got all that care and responsibilities going on.
Right.
And then you like in the moment. There's nothing funny about it. In the moment, it is like, what the fuck? But afterwards, you look back and you go, oh, fuck, that was actually quite funny what happened there, whatever. But most of the time, there's not a lot of humour involved in it. But you a lot of people say this, I don't know how you do it. And you're like, well, what the fuck else am I going to do?
Yeah.
There's no, what can you do? She had to have a place somewhere, so...
So she's still at home.
Still at home.
I think I remember. Was it last year you were writing angry letters? We had Mike Nesbitt in here. I think you would have had him, not by the throat, but you had a word with him.
I would have had a few conversations with Mike.
Because it's really tough getting respite care for her.
Yeah, so Northern Ireland doesn't have any long-term facility for children.
Right.
For additional needs. So then what
You have
happens
to be an
is...
adult.
I think even the adults are limited, but nothing for children at all. So what happens is... so we would have got... short breaks, respite they call it. So we would have got maybe 2 or 3 nights.
Yeah.
Just as a recharge, just a chance to fucking
No, I know.
fix all the broken walls and stuff. But so just as a few few nights, and then if an emergency happens, if a child needs to go into care, there's nowhere to go.
Right.
So they had to use our facility. I don't say our facility, but that facility that uses for short-term breaks, and then the what do you call it? RQIA.
Yeah. The people who invade.
Requia and all this shit. They say that long-term and short-term can't be together.
Right.
So then the long-term takes priority over the facility, and then all the families who would have used it don't get it. So that's been 5 years now.
Wow.
So it's been a long time.
So you get no breaks.
We haven't. We got 2 nights in February but it's in Derry. So you have to drive to Derry, and
That's not really a break, is it?
it's not a break. No, it's definitely not a break. No. but as well as that, it's also...
That's just a gratuitous insult to Derry.
Yeah.
Derry. I apologise to Derry.
Derry's got better pubs than Belfast.
There we go. Good recovery. Good recovery.
It's actually true.
We were in Amsterdam recently, and it was better than Derry, or was it comparable? Was it comparable?
It's sort of similar.
Yeah, probably more
same
drugs
sort
than
of,
Derry.
More drugs than Derry, but,
Very good.
but less prostitutes, apparently. Just marginally.
We play 2 nights in Derry next year. Careful here.
That's your payment.
So you don't get much of it.
No, we haven't had it since February.
The routine, by the way, is very, very funny.
Yeah, because
Genuinely,
you're
it's very
talking
funny.
like...
And I've seen audiences crack up. And,
Yeah.
But it is. I mean, she literally wrecks the house. I mean, punches.
Oh,
things, punches you.
yeah. And it's the serious...
It's not her fault, obviously.
It's not her
but
fault. That's the way she sort of communicates. The seriousness of it is, my wife has long hair, as a lot of females do, so it gets pulled an awful lot. And she's getting stronger and bigger, so then she can pull my wife to the ground. And it's a very hard thing to try and... when you see that sort of circumstance, you see your wife's been pulled to the ground and she's being attacked, it's very hard not to kick her in the head when she's down there.
Of course.
But...
Gonna have to take that.
I need to go to the bathroom. I'll be back.
That's very good.
No, it's very.
I've met Emery, so don't worry, Emery.
But it's a very difficult thing to watch, and so you have to, you're in there, and we're not trained.
Yeah.
So all the staff are trained on how to deal with challenging behaviours and
Yes. And restraint
the
and
R
stuff.
word,
Yeah.
restraint, and all that.
Yeah.
We're not trained. We're just
Parents.
trying to deal with this day to day. So you're learning a lot all the time, and every time. There's something new all the time.
Yeah.
She's massive phobias and fears. And
Right.
So dogs and cats are the massive one, and so you can't go for a walk because
There's dogs and cats.
Sure, yeah.
it's not until you have to look out for dogs you realise how many people have them.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things we're kind of. So when lockdown came around, we were well prepared for it. Like we've been on lockdown for years. Like it was no issue to us. Like it was no bother. Yeah, we were like, oh, what's everybody else? What are you complaining about?
Welcome to our world.
Welcome to our world. Yeah,
Well,
we
you
can't
see
go
what
for
it's like,
walks. We can't go to play parks.
But the silliest things, like even like you were talking about cars, you can't go in a normal car with you because she can reach the driver.
She can reach the driver, yeah,
and
so-
back there or something. So you need a special.
So we have a 7-seater for one child. Yeah.
Right.
Just I mean I'm okay because I don't have long hair.
Yeah.
But I still get it the odd time that she can grab you by the t-shirt, and she actually hit me yesterday with an iPad on the side of the head, and it's so sore. But it wasn't the last night. I was like, what's that? And I was picking like parts of blood. So it had bled from the back of my ear, but I didn't know, and I'm like, I'm not hard. I don't even know anymore. She has hardened me up now. I don't even know when I'm bleeding.
But she does. There are obviously loads of nice moments. And
Oh,
moments
and see if she was here now, you would just think, what is wrong with that man? There's nothing wrong with that child.
okay.
She's so lovable, and she's so. People are Ruby's toy.
Right.
So a new person, they call it a change of face. When you get a change of face comes in,
Right.
she is enamoured. She just wants to talk and talk and talk to you for about half an hour, 45 minutes, and then you're done. on to the next one, yeah. But so yeah, once you come in, like I wouldn't even be able to get her into the building.
Right.
That's the sort of she's a ball of anxiety as well. So.
Right.
There's a lot of things going on. We always say if you were in her head for 15 minutes just to see what it's like, because it's just non-stop. Like the neurons are firing all the wrong way, but they're firing non-stop. But, so we're learning as parents because you don't know. You're dealing with specialists and all the rest, but the specialists aren't specialists in Ruby.
Yeah.
They're specialists in a generic field, but every child has got their own different thing. Yeah. So technically, we are the specialists. Me and my wife, we know her the best. But you're constantly learning. But I didn't know what it was, I always say this on stage about you don't know what it's like to be a parent until you become a parent.
Yeah.
You don't know what it's like. What kids with additional needs until you become a parent.
Until
You know
you're
what I
in
mean?
it.
Yeah, until you're in it. And so you don't know, and then when you're in it, you're just like, oh, what is going on here? So I'm now, as I say, Ruby's 14, so we're 14 years into the journey as such, but now you've got other parents who are just starting that journey. The kid might be 3 or 4, and you're thinking, oh, they're not developing the way they should be. And so we've helped a few families. I've just given advice about simple things about where to go for support and what are they entitled to, and what they're, because you don't know them things when you start.
But even things like holidays or
Holidays and like getting carers in and payment, direct payments from carers and how that works and stuff, and it's all alien to you when you start. Yeah. I think when it comes to parenting, you've got the likes of Sure Start and different groups out there that'll help you as a parent. Yeah. There's nobody there to help you with additional needs.
My son, both sons actually worked as special needs assistants in Harvard and stuff. So I know a bit about Harvard. What's schools like that do amazing work? What's your school like?
Arvely, yeah, absolutely amazing. You couldn't pay them enough, and they're not paid enough. But I mean, well, they're dealing with proper, serious, violence and aggression. And there was actually an article in the local paper recently. It was really, really bad, because it made the kids out to be like these villains. But the frustration comes from the staff because they're overworked and there's so many kids in there. But it was hard reading it because they would list out some of the things that were happening to the staff, and I'm going, fuck. Yeah, I own her. Like she's one of mine doing this. You know what I mean? When you're responsible for one of the culprits, you're like, oh no, it was a hard read, but
it is tough.
You just thankfully the community sort of turned on the local newspaper.
Was that right?
Yeah, they had to go and put a retraction and apology for the article because it just made them out to be like it was a young offenders home and they were doing this, and you know what I mean? And it was like the kids can't control it. They don't know what's going on. But you couldn't pay them enough. I mean, we are lost in the summertime. Yeah, it's the main reason I'm here today.
And then you're going to Dublin after?
I'm going to Dublin now, I have to go on actually. I'm going to do another podcast after this.
I mean, seriously, your comedy career was affected by this as well, because you couldn't go out and, well, you could get out certain nights.
I could get out certain nights,
and
depends
stuff
on the
like
night,
that,
yeah.
you know, but
And
you couldn't dedicate your life and go, I'm going to...
No, I couldn't.
Comedy, I'm going to drive to Dublin and going to...
No, I mean, there's...
Fly over to England for a few days and do
It's
gigs.
not happening. Or the Fringe, you know.
Yeah.
People do the Fringe
You
for
can't do a
26
month,
days.
yeah.
No, you can't do that. No, there's no way. It's not fair to leave my wife, you know, with it, because it's a two-man job. Like, the two of us there at all times. Yeah. So that limits the comedy of what you can do. But I survive. You know,
Yeah,
get on.
well, no, you're hanging around with bad company.
Well, that is the problem
Mickey
too.
Bartlett.
Mickey Bartlett.
You have a podcast with Mickey.
Yeah. Just remind me that's where I'm going after this.
We've had Michael on the show.
Oh, have you had? Oh, yeah,
We've had
okay.
Michael on the
He
show.
watched Give Me Head, Pete.
Oh, did he? Yeah, he watched Give Me Headpod. He said nice things about us.
He's lying. He's a very
He's
good
a
liar.
lovely man, lovely chap.
He's a performing arts degree, actually, so he's a good actor. Yeah, that came along very... it was almost like, I don't like to use the word fate or destiny, but he came to me around the third week of January in 2020.
Right.
And because I had already started a podcast with a friend of mine, just doing like a nerd kind of movies and TV show type of podcast, and I had the equipment, because Mickey's fucking useless with anything technology or anything like that. So
We all are.
What? You idiots, Mickle.
sorry, I forgot who's Mickey. I could hear the laugh and the wings there, and going, all right, okay.
Talking to the
How does this work?
Well, I just know a step above that, how to press record. He doesn't even know how to do that.
Is this on Talk Tech?
So we were going to do, because he was heading to Australia in the end of March that year. And we were going to do like in series, so like 6 episodes, and then 6 episodes, whatever. Yeah. And then COVID hit.
Yeah.
So we were around about episode number 5 or 6. Lockdowns came in, flights were gone, so he wasn't going to Australia. That and then next thing we were just
Talking shit.
talking shit. But we kind of went live every Friday night with a quiz. So we did a pub quiz or a pod quiz, which went down really, really well. People were. It was filling their time because they couldn't go to the pubs and it wasn't there. So we were doing this live, and it was probably the best podcast we've ever done because you had a full chat room of people with their, coming in and interacting, and the whole object was that I was the quiz master. If you're listening, you had to beat Mickey's score. Which was great because Mickey's stupid. So everybody could feel good about themselves. So that's where that started, and then we just continued, and we're 5 years on now. We're coming up to 250th episode now, shortly. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's been a strange one because it's as you know, doesn't make any money.
No. Well, some of them do.
Yeah, some of them do. So like we didn't sell our soul. We didn't go for sponsorship like yourselves. We
Selling our soul? We didn't sell our soul. We love Phoenix Energy. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Sorry,
Phoenix
you're a big
Energy.
gas
We're
proponent, aren't you?
Cook 'em with gas.
It's very good.
It's coming over too.
It's coming. Allegedly, nobody's
I
seen
think I
it.
can smell biomethane.
That's from my shoes. Walking through the field this morning. Just coming.
But it's really interesting because I remember maybe 4 or 5 years ago there was a comedy. There was a comedian's Christmas. They go out in the tour at Christmas.
Yes.
There was about 20, and I knew virtually every single one of them. And now I'm going, who the There's so many.
It's so many coming through. Yeah.
You think maybe the bubble is bursting a bit? Do you think? Or is it,
The post-pandemic bubble is definitely bursting. I think we all felt the surge of people wanting out.
Yeah.
After the lockdown was over and stuff, and then they kind of rewarded us. I don't want to say us. I mean all of us for keeping them sort of entertained during lockdowns with the podcast that they all came to see our shows in. So we were able.
But every town is a comedy club now, doesn't it?
Yeah, the infrastructure's massive. When I started, it was 15 years ago, there was the Empire and the Pavilion was the open mic
Even
night.
Ballymena has a comedy club.
Ballymena.
doesn't it?
well, Paddy McGuffey ran that for years. To be fair to.
Paddy was there for a while, yeah. But you've got Portrush, you've got Mark does one in Fermanagh, you've got Newry, all these places that you wouldn't have had. I think Murph said to me that in days gone by in the 90s there were like 2 circuits.
Yeah.
There was like Jackie ran one and somebody.
Jackie Hamilton ran the Empire. Then there was the Delacroix and Derry and Galway. That was in the early 90s. And then there was a comedy club briefly in Front Page.
Yeah.
Even you did stand up. No, you did. Did you just stand up?
Yeah.
Mate?
I think attempted stand up is probably more attempted. Yeah.
He was the guy watching dailies.
Yeah, you'd have saw me get out the back.
That's very funny.
But
No, it wasn't that good.
But there were two. He was saying there were 2 circuits, and then when we came along, so there was that lull, the post Kilty.
Yes,
sort of lull.
absolutely. Yeah.
And there was as I say, we couldn't get people to come in and watch Shane Todd. We had gigs where to 4 people, and it was like so. I remember driving all the way to Downings in Donegal for a gig, and there were 6 people in the audience, and they wouldn't even sit up at the front. So there was like 2 over there, 2 down, and I was like, "Oh, what's going on?" And I remember saying to the promoter, "Look, I'm more than happy just to go."
You
home.
should have went round for that.
To 5 minutes each. But I did say to the promoter, I was like, "Listen, I'm more than happy to go home. This will be soul destroying for me and them." And he's like, "No, there might be more walking in." 2 left. so 4 people.
God.
Well, I got all 4 laughing, so 100% record.
There's an old theatrical thing that if there's more people in the audience than there is on the stage,
Yeah.
you can cancel the show. But stand up, that doesn't work.
No, it doesn't work,
Somebody
no.
turns up.
Somebody turns up. That's it. So them days were tough, like because you weren't getting fuel money even. You were just going to gigs, and I remember driving home from Dublin after an absolutely horrendous gig, and genuinely going, "What the? What am I doing? Why am I doing this?" Yeah. Coming home knowing I have to start work at 9 o'clock in the morning. It's nearly 1:45. I'm like,
What was
am
your
I
job?
doing? So I worked in community development. So I worked for a community network based in Noma. So we helped community
Is that
groups
rural?
and charities. No, we would be the urban version. Yeah. So. Yeah.
So urban. Enoma? Okay.
God forgive you. We have an Asda.
And a Lidl, I'm sure.
Just a little live. Nothing else. But no, that's so that's been a.
But you kept at it. You
kept going, yeah. And then it did pay off after lockdown. But even before lockdown, I got the opportunity to go out with Colin, on tour, and that was a great thing because you're seeing more people are seeing you.
Yeah.
A lot more than 4 anyway. So that was
Colin's
great.
brilliant. Love Colin.
Man, it's just brilliant.
Brilliant.
It's so hard, not so hard. It's so nice to be able to. It's a privilege to watch him in action because on day 1 of the tour versus day 28, whatever, the show is nearly different. And you can see each night as he's going along how he's editing, and I'm like, I wouldn't take that away. And he's like, no, that's not good enough. I was like, fuck. That's how you get good. I was like, I gotta hold all them wee babies for life. Like I'm not letting them go. But no,
Yeah.
he's like, no, throw it away. I was like, oh, fuck. Can I have it? Just taking the scraps off the table. But so that's a lot of learning from that. And I still learn. I think if you're doing anything and you're not learning, especially in stand-up, forget
See,
it.
if you'd watched Give Me Headpiece, you wouldn't have had to learn.
That would have been my education.
Seen how to
No,
do
that
it.
would have put him off. He could never buy a gun. No, I'll never get that good.
That's what it is.
No point.
That's actually you could take that and use that because that's actually what I do since I started comedy. I don't watch comedy.
Yeah. Do you not?
No, I don't watch. I see obviously fellow comedians if you're on the same gig.
Yeah.
But I used to be such a fan of stand up, and then I started doing stand up, and then I stopped
Yeah.
watching stand
No,
up.
I do watch comedy, but I very rarely laugh at it.
Yes.
Because I go, oh, that's a good joke. Yep. Oh, that's very clever.
I find it very hard to actually because I just go, I know what's coming. I know what the joke is. This is not what's going to set up. So it's really hard now not to see the mechanics behind the joke.
But the other thing that happens to me is sometimes I do it for 2 reasons. Number one, if somebody, especially if it's a big name like a Dave Chappelle or Billy Connolly or something big, if they touch a subject and I'm watching it, I'm like, well, that subject's gone now.
Yeah.
I can't do that. I'll never touch that. So, whereas if I don't see it, I'll just do my own thing.
Right.
All right.
But if I see that, say they're talking about fucking cutting grass in the garden,
Yeah.
and I'm like, well, I can't talk about cutting grass now
Yeah.
because they've done it, and I'll never do it to the level they've done it. So then so if I don't watch it, I don't know.
Dave Chappelle does prods and takes. We're fucked.
You're done. It's on the way. Like. He met Aaron McCann 2 weeks ago.
Dave, you stay away, my friend.
McCann is teaching them all the mechanics of Stormont.
Yeah, I heard
Dave's coming.
Yeah, but it's really interesting. There was a gap between the sort of the us and then the Shane starting, and then there was a slight more gap, and then it went vumph.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, there's so many clubs, as you say, all over the place. Where was I doing? What, Bangor and all that?
Yeah, that's what I say, that the post-pandemic boom should come to an end. I mean, it shouldn't be, like, it doesn't make sense. Even the
small place like this,
the English, the Scottish, and the Welsh and the Southern Irish were all going, what is going on up there? How are these boys filling arenas?
Yeah.
You know, so I think that bubble kind of burst. But then, as I say, the infrastructure's there, so there's now clubs there that weren't there before, so you can still sort of make a living.
New acts coming up as well.
Loads of new acts. Yeah. It's actually like you would have known nearly everybody that did stand up in the north.
That's what I'm saying. But now,
there's so many new ones, and it's
I've done
great
a couple
to see.
of gigs and I've never heard any of these people.
But it's great. I mean, that's I assumed.
No, it's awful. I hate them.
No, but I assumed that's the way you were whenever we came along.
100%.
Shane who? Why's he got two first names?
But I mean, it is good. I mean, I've done the Lavery's a couple of times, and it's great for trying out new material and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Lavery's is booming, and Empire's still booming as well.
Empire,
It's all. That's what I'm saying. You can nearly gig every night of the week now, where beforehand you were stuck to Monday and Tuesday. And that was it. But now you could do, and it might not just be Belfast, it could be anywhere, you know. But the likes of like yourself and Jake and Murph and all that group, then like you kind of were the crest of the wave at that stage back in the the late 90s, early 2000s. And then, as I say, I started in 2010 and it was dead, like there was nothing. And now it started
the good old days.
The good old days.
The troubles are all.
But I always, like, back to the original point, I do think, as I say, even though I didn't watch these, but like the cultural impact was massive for you. Like, I mean, because to be able to laugh at the seriousness of what people were going. Well, I always say between Give My Headpiece and MDMA. That's where the ceasefire came from.
That's 100. Yeah.
You think of the arena, the big raves that were happening in Armagh.
Yeah.
And all the boys who never would have spoke to each other, they would have stabbed each other as quick, were then hugging each other and kissing. Off their tits and MDMA.
Michael Smiley, when he was a stand-up comedian, made that very point and a very good point.
Oh, yes.
Smiley, he's a very good stand-up comedian. Everybody forgot, the religious differences when at a rave.
The rave, I'm telling you, the arena played it doesn't get the credit it should get.
No, absolutely.
They were coming from all, like even the hardest loyalists and the hardest Republicans coming together in one place in the middle of Armagh and then hugging and kissing each other. You're like, what the fuck is going on here?
And to be fair to the BBC, when we came along, they did make it, because it was taking a big risk doing Give Me Headpiece and stuff. Are people going to laugh at this? You're going to annoy one side or the other, all sorts of things. And there was a lot of money. And if people don't like comedy, they really, really hate it, and they send you angry letters and demand their license feedback and stuff. So the BBC, to be fair to them, at the time was a gamble. Took a big risk, it paid off. Because it took a couple of series before it really. First series did well. The second series did pretty well. The third series went like that.
But you used to have more than 3 series, did you?
Well,
He's going to keep us up.
He's quite good, isn't he? I hope Ruby belts you when you get home.
It's a guarantee. It's just how hard it'll be. Every time we get a present, we got a picture frame at Christmas, and I'd look at the wife and go, "That's a 6-stitcher." But I always say that there's I don't know if I could write a theory on this, but there's something about here being a post-conflict society is why the humour is, I'm not going to say less PC, but there's things we can say that you wouldn't get off with saying in Scotland, England, Wales, or the South. And I think it's because...
I think it's a bit overblown, though. We have the best sense of humour in the world and all that. But I think our experience here of Northern Ireland is different from the South. Different from the rest.
That's what I mean. I don't think it's we're funnier. I think it's just because
we're funnier,
Well, we know how to say it. But we know where it actually goes. We know actual violence. You know what I mean? We know where if you take things really, really seriously, it'll end up, we've seen the wakes and the funerals and all that sort of stuff. So nobody takes it, I think, that's my personal opinion, I don't think anybody takes it that seriously because we know what, so like the South or England, Scotland, Wales, they don't know what an actual conflict or
we
issue
can get away
is.
with being blacker.
Well...
There you go.
There we go.
In
You mean
meaning
black
dark
comedy,
comedy,
but-
dark comedy.
Right, okay, so I thought you were going to take out shoe polish there or something. What is going on here? What is
Face moment,
happening?
no, it's not going to be a face moment. No.
Ah, you see, generational. Dear, this is. Yeah.
It's that silence after the blacker
Yeah.
one. What?
Well,
Black comedy.
We did have a
Dark.
We had a very senior BBC executive from Scotland come over to look at the blame game and said we got away with the blame game that far more than they get away with in Scotland because they have a equivalent over there. What's it? Breaking the news, is it or something?
Yes.
And they said they're very, very tame compared to what we do. And we're going, really?
Yeah.
They go, yeah. And they don't feel that they can get away with stuff over there, and they don't feel that they can be as satirical and stuff over there.
Like,
And
there's nobody more serious than this place. Like,
Yeah.
when it comes to politics and all the rest. But there's also, I don't think there's anybody more flippant
Yeah,
about it than
yeah,
us
yeah.
as well. You know, as you say, the black humour. It's always been there, like, and it's always.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll ever leave us. I think we'll always have that. But I do believe that's something to do with. I don't know if it's a benefit of post-conflict or whatever,
Yeah.
but there's something about us being able to get away with more than anybody else can. Just look at this podcast, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
we went away with murder.
Absolutely.
If only somebody would pay us for it. Phoenix Energy we love, by the way. But other sponsorships are available. If anybody, Guinness, I particularly like.
Is you drinking it?
Yeah, I prefer to drink Guinness at
shares
11
in it.
o'clock in the morning.
Just to promote the show. Yes, I agree.
Just to promote the show. You're actually going down to do your own podcast, which you cannot isn't available to the general public. You have to Patreon it, isn't it?
pay
What's
for
the
it,
name of
yeah.
your podcast?
Deck chair and yums.
What?
Deck chair and yums.
Deck chair and yums. Yes,
Yeah.
I did see it last night. I can't remember because I've obviously never listened to it.
Obviously.
Same way you've never watched. Give me-
I'm going to go home now and watch
I know
some more
Mickey
Roger.
Bartlett. I know what he's going to say. Do you calm him down, or does he make? Do you make him worse, or does he make you worse?
I'm trying to keep up with him.
Yeah.
I mean, that man.
Mickey is quick now.
Yeah, I'm out of breath trying to catch up.
Yeah.
Go you on head, run you on.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
Very good.
you couldn't keep up with that man.
Yeah.
He's never off.
Yeah.
We had a very heavy night one night, which is not unheard of for Mickey.
Yeah.
But I don't normally get away that often, so I joined him. And the next morning, the two of us were absolutely like shaken with the horrors. And I was I was reversing in parallel parking, and the parking sensors were going off, right? And it was real high pitched beep beep. And he goes, "Oh, that fucking parking sensor would give you anxiety." And I says, "Oh, you can lower the tone." He went, "That parking sensor will give you anxiety." Even when you're absolutely the lowest of like hungover and dying, you're still on. And I'm like, I can't keep up with that shit. Like, so so he's deck chair. So they call him deck chair because he folds easily.
All right. Okay.
And then I'm yums because
Yums.
I have a lovely slight
Oh, that's
svelte figure.
Very insulting. Very insulting.
I didn't get to choose my own nickname, obviously. Yeah.
Well, listen, thank you very much for being
Oh,
on
is
the
that
Head
it?
Pod. Yeah, we've done
very good.
nearly an hour there, have we? Yeah, we can't get rid of you now. We've a good guest coming up next.
Somebody's watched
actually
it.
watched Give Me a Headpiece. Actually watched it. Connor, do your research.
You should have done your research beforehand and asked me.
yeah.
Instead of just assuming that the whole company's watching.
Well, I know Emer, your lovely wife, and I thought, if Emer's lovely, she's bound to have told him to watch Give Me a Headpiece.
I know,
No.
but it's a bit like saying you've never seen The Godfather, like, isn't it?
Star Wars. Yeah.
We're not offended at all,
No.
Connor.
No.
Listen, thank you very much. Thank you
thank
so
you
much
for having
for
me.
coming.
That's great.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for listening. Don't forget, our live show is on the 12th of October in the Mandela Hall. Get your tickets now. Link below. Once again, thanks to
What's it
very
called
much
again?
to- it's called Give My Head Podcast. Give My Head Pod. Actually,
Where'd you get the name from?
Give my headpiece. Just quick aside, we were filming in New York a long time ago, and we were in the hotel, and there was this. There were a lot of people booking under, the Give My Headpiece, and this American receptionist would come to me and go, "What's this show called?" He said, "Give My Head." She said, "Give who head?" I said, "No,
That's what I thought too. You know what I mean?
different show." Thanks very much to our sponsors. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, to the one and only Mr. Conor Keys. Thank you very much,
Thank
Conor.
you very much. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.